Today I have a bit of a sad story. So, pretty much, there's a Facebook group for all of the people that graduated in my high school year. And, we keep it to stay in touch or for like reunions and things like that. And also, like, if we want to share information to everyone, who went to our year, just in case, we want to share a life update or something like that. And unfortunately, there was a recent one which was quite tragic and sad, and it was to do with one of the guys in my year. And so, pretty much, I'd known in the past from previous posts that they'd made, not on the group chat, or like the group page, but on like just in general, like on their own personal profile, that they were battling some form of cancer. And unfortunately, the post on the group chat recently kind of was to inform us that the cancer had progressed and it had gotten to the point where the person had now had to be put onto palliative care. Now, if you don't know what palliative care is, it's a different form of treatment or, philosophy around medical treatment as opposed to the kind of traditional typical one. So normally when you're dealing with, medicine and stuff like that, the purpose either through surgery or medication is to kind of beat the disease, beat the cancer or beat whatever affliction it is and, cure the person. But palliative care is when you're dealing with someone who is terminally ill and there's no cure, there's no way to fix the problem. The person unfortunately is going to die, and so the philosophy around the medical treatment changes to more around about how to give that person a sense of dignity and a quality, a kind of uptake in, well, not uptake, but some sense of quality of life during their final potential months or weeks of their life. And also and a huge part of that is also dealing with treatment of pain, because a lot of these terminal illnesses are quite painful as it continues to progress through the final stages. So treating pain is a huge component of that. They do offer other services and other components as well. So take, for instance, if the person doesn't have a will or testament, they might get that person in touch with legal representatives that work closely with the palliative care unit to kind of help that person write their last will and testament. And I'm sure there's other things I'm missing, but that you get the gist of what palliative care is about. And unfortunately, this guy is probably no older than maybe 26, maybe 20, no, maybe 27, and already it unfortunately has come to the point where he is not going to live, and it's kind of shattering. And I feel so sorry for him and his family, because I can't imagine what that must be like for him and what his family is going through. And I've never experienced anything that in my own family or friends that I know. And what it kind of highlighted to me was that I think in the modern day with life expectancies increasing and food has gotten better and medical treatment and surgery has gotten to the point where we're living longer and longer. And I think people have gotten to this expectation that they're going to on average at least hit 80 or 90 years old with minimal changes to their overall life. And the thing is, and it's not a completely ridiculous assessment, a lot of people will who are alive today will probably hit 80 or 90 years old by the time they reach that point in their life. But the reality is some people unfortunately are lost really early on in their lives, in their 20s or 30s, and in some instances their 40s. And it's kind of really sad because unfortunately, you could argue that they're somewhat in the prime of their life and it's just kind of ending all of a sudden. And it's and in this case here with this gentleman, it's not through risky behavior or doing anything stupid. He's put himself in a, period or point where he might, himself into trouble or, danger. This was just one of those, freak things that just kind of happens. And it's no one had any control over that or really any ability to do anything about it. And it's just, you kind of can't, you don't know what to say. And like I said, so we have this expectation that we're going to live these really long lives, but it might not actually be the case. the thing is, we all do have to accept that at one point in our lives that we're going to die. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the hard part about it is we don't know when that's going to be. It could be in your 20s or 30s, or it could very much be in your 80s or 90s. But a lot of people go around with that expectation that it's always going to be the 80s or 90s, and then they put off or don't do things that would be really important to them. Say if they were to die in 12 months or even a couple of years, like they keep putting off these things that would mean a whole lot to them because they think, oh well, I've got all the time in the world, like I've got I'm gonna live to the age of 80, more than likely. And it's not something that people, I think, rationally say to themselves, like consciously say to themselves. I think it's just one of those unspoken assumptions that we kind of all hold. And it's gotten me to realize that if something's important to you and you want to do something that you feel is important, I feel like you have to be making steps towards it now, because like I said, you don't know when your time is going to be up. So you need to be making at least steps towards it. You might not even hit the goal or get the final outcome that you want, but as long as you're moving towards it, I think even if your life unfortunately was cut short, I think you could at least take some solace in that you were at least trying to do what you wanted, where a lot of people live really long lives and never do what they want. So take it from this, and that's my takeaway from this, and I think it should be yours as well, that whatever you want to be doing or whatever you have an interest in and you want to be doing, make steps towards that now. You might not get the result you want straight away, like I said previously, but if you don't get the right steps, or the right outcome straight away, change your approach a little bit and keep playing around with it until you do slowly step towards that outcome that you did want. And yeah, sorry about giving a bit of a bummer episode in some respects, but I think it can teach us a whole lot. Mortality, I think it's something we all have to at some point come to terms with, and I think the earlier you do that, the better. So yeah, thanks.